From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is Wake Up Weather.
Good Wednesday morning to you. I'm Kelly Rawson here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We are live at 6 a.m. and it is already warm and humid outside. That is only a sign of what's to come this afternoon. Another hot and humid afternoon for today. We do have that daily thunderstorm chance once again for today. In fact, we have daily storm chances over the next several days. I will let you know which day we are expecting to see the most widespread in that rain coverage, as well as what is going on right now across the Tennessee Valley. Let's go ahead and check in on the fog situation. Again, not a widespread issue for today, but for you folks, especially around and east of Interstate 65, seeing a little bit more reduced visibility due to some fog settling in this early morning, reduced visibility into Giles County as well as into Limestone County, down into Alabama, even extending down into Morgan County, and just some patchy fog pretty much everywhere throughout the Tennessee Valley. So just keep that in mind this morning. You see here overlooking Pulaski, Tennessee. Good morning to you folks in Giles County on our Arctic Air Skycam network, seeing that fog starting to settle in. Again, patchy fog, so if you are planning on leaving anytime soon, just give yourself a few extra minutes. But a clear scene overhead Lawrenceburg. Good morning to you folks here in Lawrence County. Temperatures already in the mid-70s, but a beautiful clear sky and a nice and pleasant start to what is going to be a very hot day across the region. Over into Columbia, not seeing too much fog out there or any reduced visibility, so that's some good news for you folks. But in the rural parts of the county, especially near any creeks or bodies of water, you may encounter a little bit of patchy fog on your morning commute over the next hour or so. Same story in Lauderdale County, but overlooking Florence, not seeing too much in terms of any sort of fog. Good news. We are in good shape down there, at least in the metro area. For right now, we are scanning a clear sky on live Viper Doppler radar. So no rain to tell you about this morning, but temperatures are off to a warm start in the low to mid 70s pretty much across the board. Again, a warm start to what is going to be another very hot and humid day with that daily thunderstorm chance. And honestly, I'm crossing my fingers for some thunderstorms this afternoon because, hey, that'll at least cool us off a few degrees, even if it is for just a brief amount of time. But over the next few hours, we are expected to stay dry. No storms expected to fire up until around or just after about 12 p.m., typical of any sort of summertime thunderstorm chance. Hit or miss chance. Not everybody going to see those thunderstorms this afternoon, but the chance is there for the entire viewing area. Aside from those thunderstorms, temperatures, again, will be hot into the mid 90s, if not the lower 90s across the region. Otherwise, a partly cloudy sky, and the heat and humidity will be quite strong for this afternoon. So if you are planning to be outdoors this afternoon, heat index values will be into the triple digits. Be sure to stay hydrated and take frequent breaks in the air conditioning, or have a cold rag around your neck if at all possible, because again, it is going to be hot and humid. In fact, there is a heat advisory for parts of North Alabama and parts of Northeast Mississippi and even into Hardin County. So again, just keep that in mind. Very hot, very humid with those heat index values into the triple digits for this afternoon. Overnight, we are expected to be dry, partly cloudy, maybe some patchy fog settling in once again for your early Thursday morning. Otherwise, same story for your Thursday. Starting off dry, showers and storms by your Thursday afternoon. Again, just your typical summertime pattern here over the next few days. We are watching a Gulf disturbance, more on that here in just a moment, but to see how that may impact us and our weather heading into your Friday and Saturday, slightly increasing our rain chances for your Friday with scattered thunderstorms in the forecast, but then higher rain chances heading into your Saturday with scattered to maybe even widespread rain and storms with some of that leftover moisture ushering up northward. So we're going to see that increase in rain chances heading into the weekend, slightly higher for your Friday, and Saturday looks to be the wettest of the days over the next several days. Otherwise, minimal rain chances, again, hit or miss for today as well as for tomorrow. Not everybody going to see a thunderstorm, but by the time we get to Saturday, I think just about everybody will have seen a thunderstorm spread out over the last few days. Now, we're still looking at a medium risk for any sort of organized tropical development down in the Gulf, but of course, course, we will continue to keep you updated. If nothing else, we are still looking at higher rain and storm chances along the Gulf Coast and as well as an increased rip current risk. So if you have any plans to be down in the Gulf, again, no need to change your plans, but just be mindful that it may be a little bit stormier than average and just be very careful and use extreme caution if you plan to get in the water. In fact, I would not recommend it with that rip current risk. But here's what we're looking at. Center of low pressure. With this, again, disorganized cluster of thunderstorms. The center of low pressure still just off of the Florida coast, off the west coast of Florida now, but you're seeing that convection still well off, kind of separated from that main circulation area, which is right here. Main convection over to the west of that area. That just is an indication of a little bit more of an unorganized system. Again, that's why we don't even have a tropical depression yet, but we do have that increase in rain and storms around the Gulf. So again, even if no organized tropical system, you are going to see a little bit of an increase in those rain and storm chances, maybe even some flooding and flash flooding risks along the Gulf. But here locally, again, we're not going to see any sort of impacts from that. Maybe some leftover moisture again by Friday and into your Saturday. Here locally in the Tennessee Valley, temperatures and heat index values for today going to be quite warm into the triple digits, as high as 105, in fact, especially into North Alabama. So hot and humid over the next several days. In fact, heat index values stay in the triple digits over the next several days. So we are going to stay hot and we are going to stay humid, if nothing else, over the next several days leading into the weekend and even into the week ahead. But your morning drive, again, warm, humid, but hey, we are at least dry for a few hours. Mostly sunny conditions for much of the morning, partly cloudy by the afternoon with that pop-up rain and storm chance. You see that here on your hourly forecast. Temperatures warming up into the mid-90s this afternoon, again with that rain and storm chance, mainly during the afternoon, early evening, should start to diminish as we lose the sunshine for today. We are going to stay unsettled, but again, slightly lower rain chances for today and tomorrow, slightly higher rain chances heading into the weekend, scattered thunderstorms for Friday, and then a little bit more widespread in coverage heading into Saturday. So out of the next 7 days, Saturday looks to be the wettest and the soggiest. Temperatures, though, still going to be warm, and the humidity certainly not going anywhere. Let's check out your local weather forecast. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. I will be back at 8 a.m. with your next weather update.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.